It is. I mean, notice there's no cheesy palm trees. There's no kitschy hedges or plastic borders, or it's like wild. It's to make it look like Tennessee.
Oh, thank you. You won't come to every other place.
Let's begin. Let's sit cross-legged at the back of the mat. Aaron is here. Aaron's getting good at this. Probably a lot more people will filter in. They usually do. The traffic was horrific. So let's be nice to them as they come in. Right, Irina Popova? Guide your hands in prayer to the heart, intention for practice. And straight up to the heavens, engaging, reaching, extending. Then cross the thumbs, pull forward into child's pose. Today I want to start emphasizing the differences between poses that look almost the same but are radically different. For instance, these is keeping our hands in prayer, which means it's not child's pose anymore, D. It becomes half tortoise. Hello. Sometimes people would confuse a child with a tortoise. Hello, young man. Good, how are you? Walk the arms to the right, thread the left arm through. Another difference between half tortoise and child's pose is that the knees are slightly apart so that you can relax the belly between the thighs. Half tortoise, the knees and the thighs would be together. Child's pose is by definition a Raja pose, whereas half tortoise would be a Hatha Yoga pose. Come back to the center and walk the arms over to the left and thread the right arm through. Come back to the center, relax the forehead down. But don't strain. Remember, this is a Raja, a royal expression. Now tuck the toes and come up, sitting on your heels into the diamond hero. Your knees stay as they are. You lift up. Let's warm up, although it's probably the warmest it's ever been since I started teaching here on the Chabutra. 72 degrees. Still, let's use friction to warm up. Rub your hands, rubbing sticks. Have you ever had to make a fire using rubbing sticks? D? We never did this?
No.
With a stick and going like this?
Being into this thing, we should have.
The friction causes a lot of heat. You feel the heat in the palms of your hands. The heat ignites. Namaste Agni. Interlace the hands under the chin. And let's make a fire in the furnace of the belly. Exhale, squeeze the elbows, nudging the chin back gently. Inhale, lift the elbows, press the chin down gently. Exhale, nudge the chin back gently. Inhale, lift up off your feet. Exhale, sit down on your feet. Inhale, up, sit. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Continue, inhale, exhale. Make it graceful, smooth, up, exhale. You learn grace, effortless movement, up and down. Again, up and down. One more, and release. Now reach the left hand to the right foot behind you and twist. Left hand, right foot. Left hand, right foot. I'm doing this on purpose so that you get your sense of kinesthesia, proprioception. Then, without dipping your chin down because it destabilizes the axis of your neck, turn your face to the right shoulder. Aaron, widen your knees. You seem not comfortable. There you go. Are you more comfortable?
Yes, thank you.
Aaron is more comfortable. Come back, other side. Hello, Miss Tunes. Double helix, turn chin to the other shoulder. And release. Ease the fingers flat, or the fingertips down, and ease your feet flat into the royal garland. It's a Raja pose again, Raja Royal. You collapse the wrists down, you collapse the elbows down, head droops. And you just relax, your head droops. When I see people misaligned in the pose, my head starts to droop. Notice how this begins to warm up the connective tissue, the whole back line from the top of your head running down the back of your neck, your spine, to the tailbone, to the calves, to the Achilles tendons. Soften your jaw, part your lips as well. Yoga is supposed to relax us, so this will help to relax you. Another way of meditating, another way of quieting the mind is to engage muscularly and become graceful and beautiful. And that's what I want you to think about when you do the Hatha yoga poses. I want to see grace and beauty. Raise your face, flip your hands, extend the right arm to the right and reach the left wing up. Figure out right from left. I'm doing this on purpose so that you can get proprioception. Raise your face and look at your left thumb. Come back to the heart, undulate the heart. And go the other way. Left arm left, right wing up. Follow your thumb behind you. Lift your head so you look past your shoulder. This is very muscularly involved. And you engage your muscles isometrically in this pose. Come back, claw the ground with your fingernails, ease the weight into your heels and look forward like a little predator. And come forward slowly on all fours like a beast. Then we go back into a Raja format. Rotate elliptically to the right, we call it Nata Singhasana. You initiate the rotation muscularly and then you soften, you let momentum or gravity continue the rotation. So your head rolls around, you're warming up the synovial joints. You don't want to be stiff in the joints. Notice we're going to do an extensive warm-up. Isn't it nice not to be doing this in deep freeze? Dressed up like an exiled Inuit. The only one who enjoyed the deep freeze was Irina Popova. Right, Irina? Because she was born in Siberia. She grew up in Siberia. Had they taken me to Siberia as a kid, I wouldn't have grown up at all. I would have just faded away. Stop, go the other way. When they used to ask me, what are you going to do when you grow up? I would always say to them, move to a place that doesn't snow or have frost. And then you stop. Let's do cat-cow. It's a pranayama or breathing exercise, but we're going to do it through the nose so we don't spray aerosols from our lungs. Inhale through the nose, arch the spine. Arch the spine, look in. Look in. Exhale through the nose, look up. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. As you look down, as you inhale, hold it. I want you to contemplate your hands. Are your fingers as wide as possible, or are you collapsing badly into your wrist, causing permanent damage to your wrist joints? So widen the fingers. Pretend I had a steak knife and I was going bang, 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 bang between that's how wide your fingers are. Inhale. Exhale up. Stay looking up, emptying the lungs. Inhale, fill the lungs. You are enhancing lung capacity, which is very good for you. Most of the time we are anoxic. We breathe very shallowly and we end up yawning or exhausted. Exhale. Now breathe normally, push back, down dog. By normally, I mean you breathe in and out through the nose. It's called the default breathing, Ujjayi pranayama. Very nice, Irina Popova. To do down dog properly, there's 3 things to remember, and physiologically. You need to push back with your hands, and your fingers are as wide as possible. You need to press down with your feet as strongly as you can, and you need to lift up with your tailbone as much as is feasible. Then the down dog is an equilateral triangle. The best way to test to see if we have the proper alignment is to come forward into plank. The hands will be under the shoulders, the toes will be under the heels, the whole body is lengthened and strong, engaged like a plank. Lift up from the armpits, broaden the shoulders, don't collapse the pelvis. Every muscle you have is engaged. Some of you are still bulging your butt up. Slide your feet back and it'll make it easier. If you do it correctly, the pose is perfect. You're looking forward through the eyebrows, you're not drooping your head. And you're broadening the space between your scapula. Some of you will start to shake. Are you shaking? Good, shake. Push back, downward dog. Isn't that awesome? Your fingers are wide. Come up on your fingertips now and firewalk your heels 1 inch at a time towards your hands. Little steps. Avoid big steps. Little steps. Walk with your heels. Come up on your fingertips, otherwise you cannot walk on your heels. And you come to the top of the mat and you make a double fist with your hands between your feet. And then you cross the wrist, you butterfly the hands between your feet. And you rotate the pelvis up, butterflying the hips. And your head is heavy, your wrists are heavy. And you soften. This is a Raja pose. It allows gravity to pull your connective tissue. Bend your knees so that you can actually rest the wrists on the ground. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Don't be attached to the idea that yoga is about stretching. It's one of the most horrible things I ever heard about yoga, that's about stretching. That's how you get hurt. You don't want to be stretching your hamstrings and your glutes. Not now while you're cold. You want to relax. I'm going to put your keys up here because they have a way of falling into the cracks. Have you ever fallen between the cracks? Miss Deanne Parrish? Oh yeah. Flip your hands. Let's engage muscularly. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers. If your feet are hip width apart, and they are, your thumb tips will touch. So pull your big toes up and guide your thumb tips together, touching. So poke your thumbs together. Lift up your thumb so that you get manual dexterity, like this. And undulate down to your thumb tips, looking down at your thumb tips. Where the eyes go, the body follows. At the end of class, when we do Paschimottanasana, which means the intense west extension, we're going to do this again. At that point, your forehead should touch your thumb tips, which means you're deeply spiritual. Release your hands in heart to pray at heart. Tuck your chin, look at your prayer hands, use your belly, not your back, unfurl slowly, one vertebra at a time. Feel the articulation of your spine. Beautiful, everyone. Do you guys feel the engagement of the core? Keep your eyes open. Bug-eyed open. This is Hatha Yoga. Namaste. The birds are singing. The beautiful sounds from the road crew is like a melody in the back. Release the hands by your side. Samastiti. I'm going to put it there. It's going to fall in. See all these nails? That's what they're for. They're cool.
Yeah, very nice.
We thought of everything. Curl the toes up, radiate the hands, levitate up, lead with the pinkies. Notice how strong the muscles in your arms and your back are as you reach and inhale up. And imagine you hold the sun in your hands like a beach ball, follow it into the west behind you, and go as far back as you can breathe properly. If you go further back and you can barely breathe, it's not yoga anymore. Come back to the center, rotate the hands like two suns. The right hand represents the dawn and the left hand represents the dusk. It's when you can see the sun directly without burning your eyes. Bend the knees, pull forward, guide your fingertips down either side of your feet. You have 8 fingers facing forward and 10 toes facing forward. 18 is the life force. Press fingertips, inhale the life force in. Looking forward, half forward bend, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, complete forward bend. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. Make sure you're at the top of the mat. Some of you are on the back of the mat or the middle of the mat. Make sure your feet are hip width apart. Some of you, your feet are together touching. And your fingers are in line with your toes, not in front of your toes. Fingers in line with your toes, not in front of your toes. Again, inhale, lengthen. Bend the knees, extend the fingers forward, press down with your heels. Get your spine, your thighs, your arms parallel to the ground. You look like a bench. I can actually sit down on top of your back. And it's called the seat of mercy. The seat of mercy contained the 10 commandments. Curl your toes up, 5 yamas, 5 niyamas. Pretty much the same idea. Yama and niyama is the essence of Ashtanga. Ashtanga is the 8-limbed path to liberation. Without yama and niyama, we are just bipedal apes running around, bashing each other upside the head. Press down with the heels, bend the knees, look up at your 10 fingers, palms face each other. Look up at your fingers, hips down, hands up. And come up and open the heart deeply. Oh, how nice. You feel it, Dee? Come back. Float your wrists down by your sides as if your arms were wings. Very nice, everyone. Then step the right foot to touch the left foot. And as soon as your feet touch, the pose is no longer samastiti, homeostasis, equilibrium, which is basically standing shavasana. Because your feet are touching, you're hugging the midline, and the pose is called Tadasana, mountain pose. Bring your hands in prayer to the heart, and extend the prayer hands up to heaven. You're now the daughter of the mountain, Parvati, the divine feminine. Up and over to the right, standing crescent, looking forward in front of you. Keep your throat open so you don't droop your head or turn your head or do something horrible to your neck. You look like a standing crescent moon. Come up, other side. Lift and over. Try not to collapse your arms at every opportunity. This is strengthening. Come back up. Keep your arms strong. Keep the biceps glued to the ears. Interlace your fingers if you have to. And ease back into a crescent half moon. You'll see a half moon if you look at the base of your thumbnails. Don't drop your head back. Keep your biceps glued to the ears. Beautiful, Irina Popova. Come back to the center. Cross the thumbs so that you hug the midline. Feel the muscles squeezing to the bones. Bend your knees so you don't tear your hamstrings. And pull forward, cup your heels. Cup your heels. And get your elbows behind the knees. Guys, just a little reminder, please don't wear perfumes and deodorants especially. I personally am highly allergic, and so are a lot of the students. Get the elbows behind the knees, forearms behind the legs, and slide your heart down your legs, resting your forehead into your ankles. This is bound hands foot pose. If you tuck your fingers under your heels, it prevents you hyperextending your hamstrings. It shifts the weight into the fingers and into the toe mounts. Beautiful D. Excellent, Michelle. Michelle, can you hold that while the others can look at you and just wonder in astonishment? Okay. Everyone release except for Michelle. Fingers down next to the toes, not in front of the toes, next to the toes. Press the fingers, try not to lift them up, it's going to hurt your back. Press the fingers, inhale, lengthen, look forward. Exhale, relax your face back into your legs. Press the fingers, inhale, lengthen, and squat down, Pujasana. Keep the feet together, just squat down, getting your knees into your armpits and your hands in prayer at the third eye. And if you care to look, you'll see Michelle in Baddha Padastasana. It's so awesome. It's a favorite pose. I saw her waiting in line at Trader Joe's like this one day. Release, Michelle. Thank you. Oh, it was Whole Foods. I'm sorry, yeah. Definitely Whole Foods. Puja. This is Pujasana. Puja means worship. Puja is when we offer thanks and praise. Puja is when you're not concerned about your prayers or your intentions or your wishes or your desires. Puja, you give. You're not expecting anything. Wipe the sweat off your brow. Open your hands. Offer your work. Offer your fire. And then reach up, the hands in prayer, bend the knees, Bhairavi Utkatasana. Press down with your heels, bend the knees, look up at your prayer hands. If you interlace your fingers if you cannot lock the elbows. Extend your index like a gun. Look up at your hands. Bend your knees some more, you'll feel it in your legs. Do you feel it, Aaron? Feel those muscles bulging in your legs? Your biceps are at the ears. Press down with the heels, come up and open your heart. Come back to center. Cross the thumbs, pull forward, Uttanasana once again. Press the fingers down next to your toes. Keep the fingertips pressing, otherwise you really put your back in jeopardy. Pressing fingers, inhale, lengthen from the back. Exhale, relax the back. Inhale, lengthen, lunge the right leg back. And because your fingers were in proper placement, the lunge back is proper. Otherwise, what happens? You put your left knee in jeopardy. It's these little things that creates a successful yoga practice without injury versus a disaster. Slide your toes back a little bit. There you go. Your left knee is 90 degrees. Your big toe should be in line with your fingers. Bring your big toe in line with your fingers. Lift your chest. Sink your hips. Feel it in the hip flexors. Feel it in the hip joint. Your spine is long, you're looking forward. See if you can slide your foot back a little bit more. There you go. Lift from the right hamstring. So I'm going to put my hand on his hamstring. I'm going to ask him to push my hand away. There we go. Do you feel the difference? He's as strong as a horse. This is the equestrian pose. Push your left leg up into three-legged down dog. Tripada Adho Mukha. Now open the hip. It's a relief in the hip flexor. If you widen your toes and kick with your toe mount and your heel, it stops you from bending your knee. It keeps the leg long and straight and the hip open. It means you have control over your muscles. Widen your toes. Widen your toes. There you go. Pressing down with the right heel, draw your left knee to your forehead. Don't come forward into a plank. Stay in down dog. It's a form of three-legged dog. Push the heel back. Keep your toes facing down. Don't open the hip. The hips are square and level now. Press the heel down. Pump the hips back. Come forward plank. Hold plank. Notice your hands haven't moved. Notice your feet haven't moved. Notice how your muscles sustain engagement. You want strong muscles? Hatha Yoga. Hatha means forceful. Gives you a diamond body. Push back, down dog. Gaze at the jewel. The jewel is the solar plexus, the belly button. It's called the jeweled city. Come forward plank. Feel this diamond body. Do you guys feel it? Do you want a diamond body or do you want a body made of meat? Push back, down dog. Look at the diamond. It also gives you a very strong resolve like a diamond. Come forward into plank once again. Guide your knees gently down. Rotate the elbows backward and dip your chin and chest down. Powerful, powerful spinal flexion. Yoga will also give you a very strong, healthy spine. Tail up, chest down. Rotate the elbows back so you stay muscularly engaged. Beautiful D. Beautiful Misty Ann Parrish. And slither through into a cobra, becoming one long, long spine. Pressing the tops of the feet down, lifting the chest up. Try not to crunch into your lower back. Don't worry how high you lift. Worry about how long you make your lower back. Come back down slowly. Tuck the toes gently. Try not to whiplash back into down dog, but with control and grace, push back into down dog. Does it feel good? We lunged from forward bend, from Uttanasana, with the right leg. Now we're going to lunge again, but this time from downward dog with the right leg. Raise and flex the right foot. Kicking with the heel and the toe mount. The hips are square and level, which means you have muscular control. Do not open up the right hip. Squeeze the hips against each other. Using muscle, not momentum, lunge the right foot somewhere between your hands. If the foot doesn't want to cooperate, then walk your foot up between your hands. Don't walk your hands back to the foot. It's a disaster. It'll hurt you badly in the long run. Step the left foot to touch the right foot. Bend the knees a lot and sweep the hands to touch overhead. Bend the knees and sweep the hands to touch overhead. Graceful, like a ballerina. Hands touch. Press heels, come up, open the heart. Whoa, are you guys sweating already? It's only 73 degrees. Why are you sweating so much? Cross the thumbs, pull forward, Uttanasana. Fingers down next to the toes. Get into the habit of proper placement, alignment. Fingers next to toes, not in front of toes. Press the fingers down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, melt. Try not to lift your fingers up and down. Inhale, lengthen. Lunge the left leg back. And drive your right knee forward. If you were to take a little square box and place it under your right knee joint, it would show that your knee is bent at 90 degrees, which is perfect. It's very stable in the knee joint. Slide your left foot back a little bit so that your pelvis sits and your chest lifts. Excellent. Are you getting it, huh? And it's easy. Once you get the alignment down, it's effortless.
I have potential.
Huh?
I have potential.
You have more than potential. Yeah, I think you're already there.
Thank you.
Look at Aaron. Right, Aaron? Yeah. Push the right leg up into the sky. Open up the right hip. Open the hip. Separate your toes as far apart as you can, almost like you can brush your teeth with your toes. That will engage you biomechanically to open the hip and keep your muscles strong, kicking with the heel. Then press the left heel down. You must press the left heel down because you're going to do a down dog with forehead to the knee. Draw your right knee to your forehead, but keep the heel down. Don't go into a semi-plank. Press your heel down. Push your hips up. Push the right heel back. Press the right heel down. Pump the hips back. Come forward plank. Knees gently down. Elbows back, dip your chin and chest, Ashtangasana, the 8-limbed pose. Again, we bring up the concept of Ashtanga. Remember, Ashtanga is not a style of yoga. That's so presumptuous. Ashtanga is the prevailing philosophy of yoga. And it starts with your 2 feet, your first 2 limbs. Each have 5 toes, 5 yamas, 5 niyamas. You need to understand this with your heart. Slither through, lift your heart. Press the tops of the feet down. Point the feet. You look like a serpent. Try to get the belly into the ground. Bend the elbows enough until your belly and pelvis is on the ground. Look how Lauren is doing it. She's not pushing up, looking for length. She's looking for expanse in her lower back. Keep your eyes open, Laura Toons. Come back down slowly. Tuck toes. Push back down dog. Gaze at your navel. Keep your eyes bug open. We lunged back with the left foot from forward bend. Now we're going to do a second lunge, but from down dog. So raise and flex the left foot. Keep your hips square and level, the muscles squeezing in. Lunge. Now that we are in lunge, why don't we go to the moon? Are you ready to go to the moon? Young lady, are you ready to go to the moon? Lift your heart and press your pelvis down. There you go. Come up, hands to the hips. Hands to the hips, it's a balancing posture. When you bring your hands to the hips, it balances you emotionally. Have you ever had an emotional confrontation with someone? Don't you put your hands at the hips and yeah, exactly. Bend your knee a lot. And reach up into extended prayer and into a slight back bend. Looking up. Beautiful, Carissa. Excellent, all of you. Do you see the moon? Rita, you see the moon?
Bees.
Oh, bees, okay. They like the moon. Extend forward like a rocket ship. Keep your arms together so that you have aerodynamic grace. And then we're going to step beyond the earth. We're going to make a small step beyond the mat, hands on the ground, beyond the mat. Giant leap with the right leg, open up the right hip, and reach the right hand up and grab the moon. Fingers wide, grasping. It's called prapti. You touch the ground with your left hand, you touch the moon with your right hand. Keep the breath deep, in and out through the nose and regular, and soften. Once you get there, you soften. Guide your right hand back down. Draw your right knee to your third eye to reset your hip and spine. Remember, we open the hip and then we close the hip. We go into Tripada and then Vibhakta Pada. Same thing here when we go to the moon. Push your right heel back. Keep your hips square and level. Left hand reaches up to the back side of the moon. Excellent. Kick with your heel. Kick with the heel. Fingers wide. And release the left hand down. Draw your right knee to your third eye. Reset your hip and spine. Lunge. your right leg back. Point your left toe up, open up the hip. Notice how we open and close all the time, eventually flushing out stagnation and disease. Press down with the right heel, draw your left knee to your third eye, Triambakam. Keep your heel pressing down, keeping your hips pushing up. I'm going to adjust you just a little bit. There you go, just like that. Push the heel back, press the heel down, pump the hips back, come forward into plank. Knees gently down, elbows back, dip your chin and chest once again. Let's put a nice little twist to this. Rotate the pelvis to the right. Don't move your torso though, just your pelvis. Keep your toes tucked, keep your tail lifted. Don't move your head, just your pelvis. Lift your pelvis up. Get your chin to the ground, stay like this. Rotate the pelvis left, just the pelvis. It looks very enticing. Lift the pelvis up, slither through onto your pelvis, look up gently like a cobra. Now the cobra slithers on its belly, it lifts its hood, its chest up. You do the same, but stay slithering on your belly. Wouldn't it be cool if a cobra came by suddenly and slithered all across you? That would be such a blessing. It's true, it's a blessing. Come back down slowly, tuck toes, push back, downward facing dog. I'm so sad we don't have cobras in South Florida. We have just about everything else. We went to the moon lunging with the left leg. The left is female, the moon is female, but we have to do it with the right leg also. Raise and flex the right foot. Keep your toes facing down, kicking with the heel. That keeps your muscles engaged, especially your hip flexors and your core, so you don't throw your back out by throwing your leg all over the place, hoping you land on the moon. Gracefully lunge the right foot between your hands. If it doesn't want to cooperate, grab your foot and put it into place. Come up, hands to the hips. The more you press your pelvis down, the more you will balance. You're balancing on your back toes. The moon is about balance. Have you ever met somebody who's like imbalanced? Lunatic. That's what the moon is about. Reach the hands up into extended prayer. We call it moon madness. It's in every culture. The moon is associated with imbalance. Back bend. Look up at the half moons at the base of your thumbnails. Balance challenge. You see that? Look at Carissa.
I like it.
She's going to the moon. Extend forward, rocket ship, Vimana. Keep your hands together. You're going to make a small step for man, beyond the mat, beyond the earth. Small step with your hands. Giant leap with your left leg. You create a bridge between two worlds. Your right hand touches the earth and your left hand reaches up and touches the moon. Of course you create a bridge because you are Anjaneya's child, Hanuman, the monkey god who leapt from India to Sri Lanka. Now, a big thing I see all the time is confusion between Revolved Warrior 3 and Half Moon. Revolved Warrior 3 looks almost like this, except then you lift your hand off the ground. Don't do that. That's Revolved Warrior 3. Get your left hand down now, draw your left knee in. You see how some poses look almost the same, but they have a completely different physiology. They have a completely different philosophy behind them. Push the heel back. Lengthen, revolved half moon, Parivrita Archandrasana. Fingers wide, because you're grasping the earth with the one hand and the back of the moon with the other hand. Make a nice face. There you go. Fingers wide. Come back down. Beautiful, everyone. Draw your left knee to your third eye. Did you go to the moon, Irina Popova? Yes. Lunge your left leg back. Point your right toe up. Unlock that hip. Relief. Feel the relief. Now listen again. Press down with your left heel. Draw your right knee in. Keep it as a down dog. Don't morph it into some kind of hybrid dog with a plank. It would be a horrible thing. Push back. Press the foot down. Pump the hips back. Come forward into plank. Let's do four-legged staff pose, but stay in plank. Just listen to my verbiage. Rita, slide your toes back. Good. Chaturanga Dandasana, four-legged staff pose. You don't want to collapse your shoulders lower than your elbows. Best thing to do is bend the elbows and squeeze the rib cage with your elbows. And hover parallel to the ground. Shoulders up a little bit, Irina Popova. Shoulders up, shoulders up. No, you're doing the opposite, shoulders up. Excellent, like Marilyn, look at Marilyn next, excellent. Slither through into upward facing dog. Point your feet looking up at the moon. Look at the moon. Tuck the toes, look at the sun, your solar plexus. Hatha also means sun and moon. This is Hatha Yoga, forceful yoga, which gives you a diamond body. Knees to the ground, sit on your heels, meditate on these things. Drink water, or cafecito, or something. What would they be drinking in the hills and mountains of Tennessee?
Bloody Mary, probably.
Moonshine.
Moonshine. I didn't want to say the I word. Because it sounds so country. Oh,
Ice.
ice. It's like moonshine.
Moonshine. I love it, love it, love it. It just makes me insane with happiness. It's true.
It's going to be 16 degrees when we go back.
That will make me insane with sadness. Yeah. Don't go back.
I know.
Just don't go back. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Remember I said Hatha gives you a diamond body? Do you guys want to feel your diamond body? Alrighty then. If we engage the three locks, the three bandhas, they are the pelvic muscles, the diaphragmatic muscles, and the throat muscles. Number one, the engagement of them at the same time is called a great lock, Mahabandha, Mega Bandha. Maha, Mega, is the connection. And it cures every affliction of body, mind, and spirit. Let's do it. Fingers down next to the ankles, middle finger faces forward. Lift your knees up, round and curl towards your knees. Knees down, tuck toes, sit on heels. As you tuck your toes, you have to tuck your toes under. Sit on your heels, diamond pose. Your fingertips are 10 gems, each fingertip unique to you. No one has your fingertips. Everyone, raise your fingertips and look at them like crazily. No one has these fingertips.
Can I look at Clarissa instead?
That's my sister. Just look at your fingertips.
Fingers on your thighs. Diamond. Engage the diaphragm, jeweled city. Reach up, thunderbolt. Lightning strike, top of mat. Gaze at your lustrous gem, the navel. Do you guys see the diamond body?
Yes.
Do you see your navel? It's jeweled city. Some of you should pierce your navel and put a little gem there. Have you ever thought about it?
All the time.
Good. Come forward into plank. Push back to down dog. Raise and flex the right foot. We're going to do almost the same move as we did when we went to the moon, except we don't have to balance on our back foot. The back foot will actually stabilize us this time. Lunge the right leg through. Your back foot is now the left foot. Keep your hands on the ground. Roll your left heel in. At best, your heels are in a straight line. If your hips are a little bit tight, your left heel veers out a little bit away from the right heel. Look at your back heel. Roll it in 45 degrees. Bring your big toe right there. No, right there with my finger. There you go. Come up, hands to the hips. Drive your right knee forward. Sink. Sink. You are now a warrior on the battlefield. Do you feel it, Aaron? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fingers down, rooting. Fingers reaching, rising. Interlace. Reach up and into back bend. This is Virabhadrasana, Warrior 1. Sounds as fierce as it is. Come back to center, hands in prayer to the heart. Rotate the heart left. Open the arms wide like spears. And listen to me, we're going to do something different today. Straighten your legs, both of them. Stay like this. You look like a 5-pointed star. Do you see that Misty Ann Paris looks like a star? You see her? Open your left hand like a star, like the sun shining, fingers wide. Each finger radiates the sun's light. No, this way. And then look at your right hand. Push fear away with the heel of the right hand. Abhaya Mudra. Look at the fearless heel. Look at it. Stay like this, strong, shining your light and fearless. Extend the right hand to the outside of your right foot. Press your fingers down, middle finger faces forward. If you need to bend your right knee a little bit to do so, that's okay. As long as you don't tear your hamstring, that's never okay. Then streamline the left arm overhead. We call it sharing your light. You're looking at your palm because everything you touch lights up. That's what happens when you become a yogi. You find so much flow and grace that everything you touch lights up. Listen to me. Keep your hands where they are. Keep your legs where they are. Just bend your right knee forward. This is called extended side angle pose. Utthita Parsvakonasana. And I'm going to do a little adjustments. I'll give you verbal first. Open your heart up. There you go. Perfect. Beautiful Misty Ann Parish. Beautiful Dee. All of you. Stay like this with your knee bending. Come back up. Hands in prayer to the heart. Come up first. Hands in prayer to the heart. Rotate. Yeah, you are rotated. Extend your arms out like spears once again. Look at the spear behind you. Fingers together like a spearhead. Look at the spear in front of you. Fingers together like a spearhead. And then you tilt, pushing your knee back with your elbow. But don't let the spear touch the ground because it's a disgrace. Bend your knee a lot. Push the knee back with your elbow. Joint to joint. Your left hand like a spear. Slide your elbow to your knee. Not your wrist, but your elbow. The triangle that you are creating is called Warrior 2 triangle. Is under the right armpit. It's also called Sri Yantra, the holy sign, because it's two intersecting triangles like a Star of David. David was a warrior. Come back to the heart. Rotate the heart. Open up your fingers up and wide. Reach up like wings. And fly, Warrior 3. It's such a relief to straighten that leg. Do you guys feel it? Do you feel it, Louisa?
Yes.
Palms face each other. Guide your hands in prayer to the heart. And dip your heart and neck down like a swan coming down for a landing. Open your wings wide. Digasana, she who descends. Beautiful, Mike. Excellent, all of you. Irina Popova, you look like a swan. Did you ever see the Siberian geese? Those were what they looked at when they said Hang Sa So Hang, flying over the Himalayas. Don't lunge back, just step back with your left foot. Open your heart. Make sure you didn't lunge back, you just stepped back. It's a female warrior, it's more delicate, it's more, sexier than a big old lunge. Come back, right hand, right hip. Push fear away with the left hand. And into revolved triangle, Parivrita Trikonasana. If you want to get your left hand flat outside of the right foot, if that's impossible, just keep your hand flat on top of the foot to stabilize the foot. Good, Rita. And then reach up. Keep your fingers together in this one because you're locking fear out of you. The only thing you're doing is you're opening up your third eye. Back foot 45. 45. Like a warrior, just back, there you go. This is all part of the warrior sequence. Warriors in triangles, the back foot is always 45. Come back, resolved triangle, right hand inside of the right foot. Open up your left hand fingers wide. Open your pelvis, open your heart, open the crown of your head even. Beautiful, everyone. So you revolved, you resolved. You closed, you opened. Do you feel it, Mr. Amparish?
Yes.
Left hand down. And people confuse this with Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. It's not at all. It's completely different. Hands either side of the right foot. Keep your biceps glued to the ears. Extend the arms in prayer. And sweep up straight spine. Arms at the ears. Back bend. Open the heart. Aaron, you're going to end up doing the splits. Good. Come back to center. Tuck the chin, round and curl forehead to your knee. It's called Janu Shirsasana. Janu means knee. The close cognate to it is the word joint. It's almost the identical word in French, genou. Oui. Shirsa is your forehead. Get your shirsa to your janu. Bend your knee to your forehead then. Aaron, you got your shirsa to your janu? Good man. Your feet are too close together. It's impossible to do that way. There you go. That's much better. Get your forehead to your knee, D. Guys, every breath in this pose is said to make us younger. But make sure you round the spine. You're not sliding your spine down your leg. So come up, round and curl your spine. And your hips are square and level. Sweep up, straight spine. Back bend. Keep your hands together in prayer. Your legs are too wide. You're going to end up doing the splits just like Aaron did. Come back, bow. Tuck the right arm in. Pull the string of the bow back with your left hand. Focus on a fixed point in front of you like your target. And then stand on the right leg, reach the left thumb up, grab the inside of the left foot. Dhanurasana bow. Gurira Popova. Look at you like the goddess of the Volga. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Chin up and kick. Michelle, make a nice face. Chin up. Some of you are doing a forward bend. It's not, it's a back bend. Come back to center. Very nice, young lady. Point your left toe forward. This is standing staff. Bend and flex the knee and lunge back into warrior one. Whoa. Keep the hands in prayer. It'll give you stability. Come back to the heart in prayer. Back to the earth. Right leg back, open up the right hip, open up the hip, three-legged. Keep your left heel pressing down. Press your left heel down. Press your left heel down. Draw your right knee to your third eye, Triambakam. Push back, press the left heel down. Pump the hips back, plank. Let's do a proper chaturanga. Remember, don't collapse your shoulders lower than your elbows. Squeeze the elbows against the rib cage and hover parallel using your tricep strength. Good, Lauren. Excellent. Slither through, upward facing dog. Point the feet, look up at the moon, shoulders back. Very nice, Rita. Do you see the moon? Tuck the toes, look at your sun, your solar plexus, your belly button. Raise and flex the left foot. Stay with me. Look at your belly button. It's willpower. Otherwise you collapse into a pile of flesh. And lunge. You're a warrior. You're not going to collapse because your comrades on the battlefield depend on you being there for them. Roll the right foot 45 degrees, warrior stance. Come up, hands to hips, rotate the pelvis forward, shoulders forward. You look like a fembot. You're robotic. In reality, you're an instrument created by Shiva's rage and grief. That's another story. Root your fingers down into the battlefield, fingers strong. And you root to rise. Rise up. Interlace and reach up. Interlace the fingers. Back bend. Come back to the heart in prayer. Rotate the heart to the right. Extend your arms out like spears. Look at the spear in front of you. Straighten your legs. This is a standing star. This is Pachanga, 5-angled pose. You look like Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian stance. You remember that one?
Oh yeah.
It's this one. Look at your right hand behind you. Open it up like the rays of the sun, fingers wide. Fingers wide. Look at your left hand in front of you. Keep the fingers together. Push fear away. Abaya. Straight legs, Luisa. And press fear to the outside of your left foot into Utthita Trikonasana. Bend your knee if you have to so you can get your hand on the ground. Although ideally you shouldn't bend your knee. Ideally you should start to straighten the leg. Beautiful, Misty Ann Parish. Streamline the arm overhead. Bring the fingers together so you have aerodynamic grace. This is called sharing your light. You know, the light of the sun. You know how some people walk into a room and the room lights up? This makes you one of those people. Bend your left knee forward. This is Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle pose. You're extending the whole right angle of your body. Do you feel it, Aaron? You're doing good.
Where do I look?
You look at your hand. Rotate your heart up. There you go. Excellent. Then come back up. Keep your knee bending, come up. To the heart in prayer. Extend your arms spears. Look at the spear behind you. Beautiful, Irina Popova. Look at the spear in front of you. Bend your knee a little bit more. Good. Tilt. Push your knee back with your elbow. But you really have to bend your knee, otherwise you're causing damage to your hip flexors. Try not to rest your elbow on your knee. Push the knee back with the elbow. You need the isometric tension. Better than bad misalignment tension that will tear your groin. Is that a tattoo on your wrist?
That's the sun.
It's a sign. Come back up to the heart in prayer. Rotate the heart. Open your fingers up and wide and fly into Warrior 3. Palms face each other. Your back foot is 45 degrees. It's still Warrior. As you 45 the right foot, it stabilizes you on the ground on the battlefield. 45ing the right foot stabilizes you in midair like a fighter pilot. Do you feel it? Hands to the heart in prayer. And swan dive down, Digasana. Open your wings. Beautiful, Irina Popova. Excellent, Laura Tunis. Do you like that pose? That's your pose. Don't lunge back, step back. Open your heart. Let's get rid of fear from out of our mind, body, and spirit. Left hand, left hip. Push the hip back with your left hand. Push fear away with the right hand. Straight legs. Extend the right hand flat to the outside of the left foot. If that's impossible, place your hand on your foot. And lock the hips. Lock the fingers. Lock fear out of you. Do you feel it? Irina Popova? No fear. Abaya. No fear. This is what this does. It locks the fear out of you. Do you feel it, Michelle? Well, smile then. Aaron is grinning. You don't look happy, but still you're grinning. Come back, left hand, inside left foot. Unlock the hips, unlock the crown, unlock the heart, unlock the fingers wide. Feel courage flood into you. Do you feel it, Aaron? Good. Excellent. Hand down. Frame your left foot with both hands and then extend the hands into prayer. Biceps glued to the ears. Please, biceps glued to the ears. Sweep up, straight spine. Open that big heart. Come back to center. Let's not aim straight for the heart, not yet. Tuck the chin round and curl forehead to your knee. Actually, you round and curl and you try to look at your heart. Have you ever looked at your heart? Mike?
All the time.
Good. Laura?
Yes.
Miss Deanne Parrish?
Of course.
Of course. Your hips are square and level. So don't collapse the left hip down. So if you bring your big toe here, then your hips will square and level. Push my finger away. There you go. Excellent, Marilyn. Excellent, all of you. All of you. Even you, Aaron. Keep the biceps glued to the ears. Sweep up straight spine. Aaron is my most improved student. He shows up religiously, right? Left arm tucks into the armpit like an arrow tucks into the string of the bow. Pull the string of the bow back with your right hand. Focus on something in front. Don't look to the side. You're an archer. Focus on your target. And stand on your left foot. Reach the right thumb up inside of the right foot. Chin up and kick. Open your eyes, Irina Popova. How will you find your target with your eyes closed? Chin up, Michelle. Open your heart. Beautiful D. Can you feel how open your heart is?
So open.
I can see. Chin up a little bit, Anne. There you go. Release. Right knee up and point the foot. Just point the foot. Feel the quads engage. Flex the foot. Feel the hip flexors engage and lunge back. Deep lunge into warrior one. Really getting into those hip flexors. And then get back into the heart in prayer. Back to the earth so you ground. Left leg up into the sky. Open up the hip flexors. Remember to press your right heel down so that you don't mess yourself up. And draw the left knee into the third eye. Keep the right heel pressing. Don't do this on your toes. I've seen them do it on their toes. They even post selfies of it on Facebook and I go berserk. Because you know what happens? It destabilizes your shoulders. Push the heel back. Press the heel down. Pump the hips back. Come forward into plank. Knees gently down. Ashtangasana, the 8-limbed pose. Stay like this. Let me go on a rant about the 8 limbs. Lift your pelvis up. Lift your pelvis up. You have 2 feet with 5 toes, 5 yamas, 5 niyamas. You have 2 knees, asana and pranayama, posture and breathing. You have 2 hands, pratyahara, sensory withdrawal, and dharana, concentration. You have 1 chest, meditation. 1 chin, divine absorption. Slither through, lift your chin up into liberation. That's what Ashtanga does for you. Come back down slowly, tuck toes, push back, down dog, and onto your knees. Relax, drink water, have a cigarette. Are you going to do the training, Miss Deanne Parrish? Why?
We're going to be here every weekend.
So just stay for 3 months.
Maybe like 2 weeks I could stay.
Well, stay for 2 weeks and
Yeah.
come in and sit.
Okay, whose house is going to take me?
I don't know. Look, Marilyn, there you go. You just have to ask and that's it. People say the worst things about Florida, but in reality, it's quite nice people. Don't look at me.
Philip, are you going to the training outside or inside?
Mostly here on the Chabutra. If it's raining, in the cafe. If it's a hurricane, then we're going to go into the training room, but with masks on. But in the training room, we also have an air purifier, just like in the hot room. No cases. But I don't care, because it's a smaller room, masks on in that room. The rest of the time, optional masks.
Only when hurricane.
Only when hurricane we go in there. But chances are we're probably going to cancel classes during a hurricane. Here on the Chabutra. And when it gets too dark and we cannot read, then we go into the hot room under air purification and with the doors open. Just, you know, safety, guys. I'm very happy to see more and more of our students, those who can, injecting themselves with 5G metals in vaccination. I'm kidding you about the 5G nonsense. But a lot of our students have already injected themselves. Whatever it takes to feel protected. Anyway, that's another thing. Welcome to our crazy new world. Let's do hero. Let's be heroes. Lift your chest, fingertips on your thighs. This is hero. Do you feel heroic, Luisa? Good. Guide your hands to the heart and reach straight up to the heavens. You're going to become a real hero, a camel. Onto your knees, tall. Now, camel done in full expression is with the toes pointing. If you can do it with the toes tucked, it's easier. You do what's easiest for you. Reach the hands into your lower back. Thrust the pelvis forward a lot so that you're lifting out of the pelvis. And then reach one hand, then the other, cup your heels. Whether your toes are pointing or not, it's irrelevant. Cup your heels and thrust forward. Open your heart like a camel's hump and look back behind you with your eyes bug-eyed open. I see your face grimacing. Make sure you don't feel pain. Don't go beyond that which is comfortable to please me, please. Every pose is comfortable, doesn't matter what it looks like. That's perfect. Are you happy, Dee?
I'm so happy.
Sweep up. Body prayer to the heart. Sit down, knees together, feet together. After this intense back bend, this is the most intense back bend there is, just so you know. Spine twist, twist to the left. Keep your arms locked, your spine long, otherwise you won't twist your spine, you end up knotting it up. And then without dipping your chin so you don't mess your cervical spine, robotically almost, rotate your chin over to the right shoulder. Keep your chin lifted because it destabilizes the axis. Release, other side. Keep your chin parallel with the ground, twisting to the right. You hear that? Double helix, look to the left. That's the roach coach. Release. Let's do a rounding and curling in the rabbit. Now, cup your heels with your hands. Grab your heels from the outside firmly. Lock your arms dead straight and tuck your chin first. Keep your spine long and straight also. And then in Fibonacci sequence, round and curl until your forehead touches your knees. If your forehead doesn't touch your knees, that's okay, as long as you don't put any weight in your head. And once you're there, lift the tail up like a rabbit's tail. Sarsangasan. Excellent, Irina Popova. Keep the arms straight. You want the energy to shift into the spine. It's an intense rounding and curling of the spine. Beautiful, the Famularo sisters. Excellent over there. Aaron, you're doing it perfectly. Are you proud?
Yes.
Release the forehead down. Relax the arms by your side. Sleeping child. Flip your hands under your shoulders and unfurl, keeping your chin tucked. Unfurl slowly. Use your fingertips to guide you up. Use your fingertips. Good. You saw what child's pose felt like? Let's do something that looks almost identical but has a completely different sensation. Half tortoise. Are you ready, Dee? Hands in prayer to the heart. Straight up to the heavens. Keep your hands in prayer. Do not separate your hands. Your hands in prayer become knives slicing into the ground. Slice your prayer hands into the ground. Lock the arms straight. Just your forehead rests. So get your forehead down. And slice your hands forward so that the elbows lock. Keep your hands in prayer. Relaxing. Beautiful, Rita, Rita. Get your forehead to the ground. Can you, Dee? What is that thing on your necklace?
It's a jed.
A bong?
Possibly.
Lift the elbows up. There you go. Excellent, Aaron. Doesn't feel good? Just tell them.
It's the best.
Biceps glued to the ears, sweep up straight spine. Back bend, open the heart. Come back, body prayer to the heart. Are you ready, Dina Popova? Bhadrasana. Tabletop. Walk your knees up between your hands. And press the knees hard against each other. It looks dorky, but it's very effective. And open the feet wide apart and sit down between your wide heels. If this is all your body can manage, or partly, that's perfect. Look, Lauren is modifying because she has a little itchy thing behind her knee and she doesn't want to exaggerate it. Maybe a slight tendonitis perhaps, or whatever. So what she's doing, she's modifying by wisely putting a rolled towel behind her knees. She's not going to go further back because she's going to cause injury. The rest of you will go back as far as it's comfortable. Some of you, all you can do is just balance on your fingertips. Some of you can balance on your elbows. Some of you can go all the way back and balance on your shoulder blades. Go where you can go comfortably and you're doing it perfectly. Although your knees have to stay together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand in front of your knees and I'm going to pull your knees in. Relax. Relax. Relax your shoulders. There you go. Michelle, there you go. Michelle, I was just going to tell you to correct and you auto-corrected. So it's not just the computer that auto-corrects. Michelle can do it also. This is good exercise for my adductors. Broaden the space between your shoulder blades. There you go. Stay like this. I'm slowly going to release. Excellent, Louisa. I think, Louisa, you're ready to rest on your shoulder blades. Once you rest on your shoulder blades, grab opposite elbows above you and wiggle your spine as straight as you can. And gently come back, nice and slow, with grace and with control. Are you happy? Hands in front of the knees. Runner's lunge, whichever leg wants to go back first. See how generous and liberal we are? Release, other side. It's called Yogi's Choice. Release. Tabletop. Rotate the elbows back, dip your chin and chest down once again, Ashtangasana. But lift your butt up as high as possible. And then get your arms deeply, deeply under you. And interlace your hands like a double fist, clasping through the fingers. And then shrug your shoulders inward so that your elbows press against your belly and your lips press into the ground. We are going to do the lip stand. Are you ready? Lift the legs up, pressing down on your lips Aaron, press down with your leg. Lift your legs up, press down on your lip. Do a lip stand. Excellent. I'm going to assist you. Isn't it the best? Tell them. Don't lift your head though, you'll break your neck. And release slowly down. Whoa. Immediately exhale the arms wide. Counter pose from locust to full locust. Inhale, fly up, fly up. Fly, fly. Don't be afraid. Higher, more, reaching, up. Beautiful, Rina Popova. Do you see the Siberian geese?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, this is so beautiful. That's what the yogis would see again, flying over the Himalayas, and they would say, Hangsa.
Oh my God.
Soham.
Oh,
Yeah, my God.
God.
Yeah, my God. That's exactly what they would say. Because it's Shivoham. And release, relax. Whoa. Left ear to the ground, arms by your side, sleeping serpent. Just relax your left ear down. Relax your arms by your side. It's just a wonderful relief. Laying prone like this is awesome for the lungs. It allows the breath to expand the back of the thorax where most of your lungs are. And then without lifting your head, turn the other cheek. Don't you like this one, Aaron? The best one, right? Get your forehead down. Flip your hands under your shoulders and push back into child's pose. Keep your knees wide and relax your forehead down in child's pose. It's so wonderful for your back. You don't have to engage anything, you don't have to do anything except relax. Usually I ask my students on the Chabutra to introduce themselves. Come up. Come up. What's your name, young lady? Carissa. What's your name, young man?
Phil.
So's mine. I'll remember that. Lauren. Catherine. That young man there?
Aaron.
Why are you sweating so much? Okay, that's good, healthy. And you? Bonnie?
Dan.
Dan?
Mike.
Mike? Laura? Marilyn? Popova? Okay. Rita? Rita. And you? Miss Yan who? Miss Yan Parish. Dina? Michelle what? Good. And next to you? Sarah? Ann. So now you all know each other. You know what happens after years and years of practicing with each other? Well, you don't actually have to talk to each other, but you don't have to. I mean, I don't. I practice with people for years and years. I can't bear to see them. But when I do see them off the yoga mat, there's such a strong bond between us that you might actually go up to them and say, Namaste. And that's all you need to say. I mean, you've explored God with each other. And words are cheap. There's nothing to say. Has that happened to you, Mike?
Yes.
Very strong bonds are formed that way. Spiritual bonds. That's all I'm going to say about spirit, because I don't know much about spirit. But I know about muscles and anatomy and alignment and history. Okay, let's continue the work. Sit on your left hip. I also know that what I teach comes from the gurus, and we honor our guru lineage. Let's do the guru flow, where we bow down to the sandals of the guru. Extend your right foot to the top right corner of the mat, and your left foot nestles in towards your groin. Not under your groin, not under the other thigh, but, you know, comfortable. Then bring your hands in prayer to the third eye. It's called Guru Namaskar. That's how we greet our teachers. If you notice, when I walk in, after I park in the parking lot, immediately all the students in the have you noticed? In the foyer, they're like, I'm kidding, I'll be lucky if I get so much as an acknowledgement. Rotate and interlace under the right foot, thumbs under the toes, round and curl forehead to the knee. But I'm not a guru. No, no, no. My title is Yogacharya, which means yoga student. Always be a student. That way you keep yourself open to learning more, because there's no way you can know everything. Hold on to the foot, keep your fingers interlaced. Ideally your thumbs are under the toes, forcing a dorsiflexion of the foot. Hold on to the foot, look at your foot, undulate your spine, awakening the serpent through the undulations. Undulating the spine is often overlooked in yoga, in modern yoga. Yes, it's such an important spinal flexion. I would say it's even more important than back bends and forward bends. Release your foot. Point your foot and reach the left thumb up and near the tailbone behind you. Guru opens the Shakti, releases the power. It's coiled like a serpent at the base of the tailbone. So bring your left thumb near the base of the tailbone. Stay on your fingertips, and then the right hand in the phylactery, the protection of knowledge. Lift up, lift up, lift up, lift everything up. Lift from the armpit, lift from the lower back, lift from the groin, and look back at your hand behind you. Then look up at the right hand above you. The palm faces you. Excellent. Sit down, flex the right foot to keep both hips on the ground, and place your both hands either side of left knee so that your hands push the right hip on the ground. Don't lift the right hip off the ground. It disgraces the Guru. Round and curl to your left knee. Can you imagine what Yogananda would have said if you lifted the hip off the ground? Misty Ann Parish? Release. Other side. He would have been disgraced. Are you ready, Aaron? To salute the Gurus? Third eye. Guru Namaskar. Rotate robotically. Interlace your fingers under your left foot. If you cannot reach, I bet you can reach if you bend your knee. Just bend your knee. Who cares if your leg is straight or bent? What we do care about is to get the fingers under the foot and the thumbs under the toes. And then eventually you, with your forehead pressing against the knee, you slide your heel further and further away and your leg will straighten. Because you're forcing the dorsiflexion of the left foot, there's no way you're going to hyperextend your hamstrings. Elbows down, rounding and curling to your knee. This is called Guru Paduka Byam, bowing down to the sandals of the Guru. You know, you wouldn't walk into a yoga space with your shoes on, but the Guru's shoes or sandals, you could put them on the altar and you could venerate them like holy relics. Hold on to your foot, look at your foot. As you look at your foot, undulate your spine, closing the gap between you and the holy relic of the Guru. Release the foot. Guru gives you the Shakti, the power. Reach the right thumb up. Near the tailbone behind you, stay on thumb tip and fingertips. Left hand in the phylactery of knowledge, lift up. Knowledge lifts you up. This is what Guru ultimately gives you, knowledge. Look back at your right hand behind you. And then look at your left hand above you, opening the heart. Beautiful Anne. Beautiful Misty Anne. Excellent Rita Rita. And come back down. Sit. Flex the left foot. Hands either side of right knee. Keep the left hip on the ground. Keep the left foot dorsiflexed. Round and curl to the right knee. You don't want to lift your hip off the ground. Otherwise the Guru will be scandalized. I'm going to press with my foot on your left thigh. Round and curl towards your knee. You don't have to touch your knee with your forehead, but if you can, you're very awesome. Release. Guide the right knee. Keep it bent, but aim it straight forward. Honoring Guru Matsyendra, the Lord of the Fishes. Left foot up and over. Press down with your left foot. Keep your left thumb near the tailbone and reach your right hand up in knowledge. And twist. Actually, why don't you grab your big toe? Unless you can bind the arm through the leg or do something really cool. Double helix, look through the right shoulder. Try not to destabilize the axis by dipping your chin. I wish I could bind like you can. I can't, because I'm too well muscled.
I'm just not strong.
Yeah, I'm just, release. Remember how we bow down to the knee? Well, you're going to bow down to the right, the left ear will hover and listen. Speaking of muscles, use your bicep strength and your pectoral strength. Don't collapse your face into the wood. Come back up, press the fingers down, reach the heels up, lifted straddle, and switch legs. That looked very nice, Deanne. Press your right foot firmly flat. It did. Right thumb near the tailbone, left hand up in Gyan Mudra. Twist. Do exactly on this side as you did on the other. Everybody does it slightly differently. But as long as you do the same on one side as the other, you should be okay. Can you get your thumb closer to your tailbone? And lift up a little bit. Good. Can you grab your big toe? No, with the other hand. There you go. Twisting. Double helix, look to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, Philip. It means friend of horses. But he spells it with a double L, right? It means friend of fat. Lipids. No, it's just the English spelling of the Greek word, that's all. Right, Dilina Popova?
Yes.
Philippe in Russian, right? Philip.
Philippe.
Philip. Release. Extend all the way to the left. The right ear of wisdom hovers and listens. Are you listening, Miss Deanne Parrish?
Yes.
Good. Come back up. When you intersect understanding and wisdom, you have knowledge. Rotate to the right, face back towards the west. Extend your feet, flex your feet. Your feet touch now. And reach and grab your big toes with your peace fingers once again. Remember I promised you we were going to do that towards the end? Your thumb tips poke back. You will undulate so much so that your thumb tips will touch your forehead, which is the Agnya chakra, the seat of knowledge. Pull forward to Agnya. Look at your thumb tips. Where the eyes go, the body will follow. Feet together. Poke your thumbs back together. And look at your thumb tips. No, like this, like a pyramid. And rest your third eye on top of the pyramid. Have you ever seen that on a dollar bill? That's what you're doing. You're releasing currency. Wealth of perfect health. Release your toes, relax your face in your legs, folding in half. Keep your hands palms up to receive grace. Keeping your chin tucked, unfurl the tree of life slowly and lay it down to rest into the corpse pose, Shavasana, and close the eyes. I believe they started the English spelling of double L for Philip to differentiate from Philip II of Spain, because they weren't really very good friends.
In Russian, one L.
I'm sorry, what?
One L.
Well, the original, the Greek is with one L. Philos, which means friend. Ippos, which means hippo. But hippo in this case means horse. Like hippodrome. If you guys are complete nerds and you like etymology, just talk to me about these things. While the rest of you grew up having fun, I was studying words. And if you really like words, sign up for the Raja training. We had orientation on Sunday, an incredible turnout of most interesting people. But we start the nitty-gritty for real on Saturday at 3 p.m. up here on the Chabutra. Deepen the breath. Wiggle the toes. Roll your head gently side to side. And inhale the arms overhead. Exhale the knees up. Inhale, hug your knees in. You revive. And you rotate to the right fetal position. And rest your forehead down so that your visions are grounded. Every yoga class is like you die and you are reborn. You are now in fetal position in preparation for rebirth. Guide your hands down, lift up. Sitting cross-legged facing front just the way you did in the beginning of the class. In prayer. At the heart, you're going to give sound to your intentions. From heart to third eye, inhale. Om. Today's mantra aimed for the innocent. Everywhere in happiness and harmony, all creatures, peace, peace, peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti, shanti, shanti. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching at home. I hope it was interesting.